welcome. This is Sahara playing Dragon Age Inquisition. This is a very addictive game. We just got back from the future, and we know now that the Elder One, who thinks it's a god, has to do with the Red Lyrium, is our main enemy. He is the one that caused the breach and killed Justina. So we're going to go to the war room, and then after this, we are going to... And they're mad at me because I gave an alliance with the mages instead of conscripting. Oh, I went the wrong way. Duh. Sorry, I should have known. I came in right at the door.
Appreciates your assistance in this matter, Lady Corbin, and my miners appreciate your business. You'll have your lyrium by the end of the week.
Okay.
I should tell you, Ambassador.
So we're gonna have to talk to everybody now after this. After what just transpired. So we have an Inquisition point, and I want to try to see if I can get the... Nope, it's still locked. So I need 4. I only have 3. I need 4 to get deft hands. So, optimal cutting. Detailed studies show how to get the maximum usable harvest from each plant. Or eagle-eyed. Training in spotting where the pattern breaks in nature or in civilization grants a significant increase to the discovery range of the searching action. It's already big. Enhanced studies. Bolster the number of researchers working to study those who stand against the Inquisition. Grants an additional 50% XP for each full studied, including those already completed, applied retroactively. Oh, so I'm going to get XP, 50%, or can I do something else? Trainee herbalist, gain a collection of tier 1 herbs. What does that entail? Gain a collection of tier 1 herbs. I think I like the XP better. Okay. I know I need some of these other ones, but I want to get that deft hands, and I can only do that. These are all locked now. That's fine. Okay. So, what do we have here? I think maybe I can go to the Black Imperium now. That one's completed, my dear. Okay, so that's completed, so I think that should be fine. Oh, here's one. Answer a request from Hansmo. Commander Colin, I understand the Inquisition is working with Redcliffe's mages. I'm surprised someone from Kirkwall would condone an arrangement with them, but it does put you in a position to aid us. Hasmo's circle sustained significant damage during the uprisings. Rather than follow the Lord Seeker, many of our Templars elected to remain and deal with the aftermath, but our resources are limited. Furthermore, we have loyal mages with us. Hasmel's people would happily throw them to the wolves, even though they had nothing to do with the rebellion. As it stands, I fear we may fail in our duty to protect them. I trust you sympathize with our predicament. I humbly request our charges be transferred to the Inquisition. Knight Commander Brian. Hostility toward mages remains, but there are ways to travel without drawing notice. We have a few Templars of our own. Hasmel's Templars will be comfortable working with them. They can ensure safe passage for the mages. I'm going to go with Colin on this because this was addressed to him. Your men arrived this morning. It's good to see the Inquisition still trusts Templars to perform their duties. Once we ensure that Hasmel's circle is stable and that no dangerous items fall into the hands of unsuspecting scavengers, we will join you ourselves. So we got influence 30. Okay. Improved stability. The Inquisitor's efforts to close the Fade rifts has increased stability in various regions across Thedas. However, demons sometimes remain, having wandered from the site of the original rifts. The Inquisition has received numerous requests for aid in dealing with this problem. Leanna's not being involved in it. Loyal nobility should take an interest in securing their lands. We can appeal to them for assistance. Kind of agree with that. Our soldiers can do sweeps of areas formerly containing fade rifts and eliminate any demons. I think the nobility needs to learn how to do it themselves. I have secured promises from several noble families. They have agreed to provide personal guards and other resources to the cause. We have played our part in closing the rifts. The nobles will now see to the safety of those living on their lands. Influence 60. In Hushed Whispers has been completed. That one's completed. We have 36 power. Do I want to do the Black Emporium? Because I really think this is the part, from what I understand, we had to get past to a certain point before you go to the Black Imperium. Because of the spoilers involved in it. Truth or Dare, Lake Celestine. A page from Travels of a Chantry Scholar lies on the table. This passage is circled. The region between Lake Celestine and the shores of the Waking Sea is known as the Heartlands, a place of vineyards and gilded marble estates the locals refer to as cottages. It is often said that Orlay's heart is plated with gold, and so it seems fitting that the Heartlands are perhaps the richest place outside of Val Royale. A note is written at the bottom of the page. Count de Muir and Marquise, whatever, both spending money like water. Which to pursue? Truth or Dare? I'm not understanding this. Region, okay. Both spending money like water. Which to pursue? We have agents in place near now. We can infiltrate his manor at a moment's notice. He's not involved. As a distant relation of the Empress, we should speak with him first. Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Let us begin.
Okay, so this one had actually time involved to it. And then we have the University of Orlais. To the leaders of the Inquisition, the death of so many good souls at the Temple of Sacred Ashes is a tragedy compounded by the frenzy of posturing that has taken place in the race for Divine Justina's successor, which all too frequently uses the University of Orlais as a scapegoat for ills, perceived or real. Considering your recent cowing of these clerics, the University is hoping you might see your way to protecting us from their rhetoric. Such a partnership could be beneficial for us both. We have research, magical as well as mundane, that we'd be pleased to share in exchange for aid in these trying times. Yours with hope, Chancellor Durgan, whatever. We could arm the university with what we like best, information, give them ammunition against anyone who speaks against them. The attacks will cease. A few soldiers stationed at the university, along with some mercenaries, should be enough of a demonstration or of support to deter Chantry attacks. I agree with Leanne on this. To the leaders of the Inquisition, it was glorious, I tell you. Mother Hebera stood in my office and apologized for any inconvenience I or my colleagues have suffered. Considering the derision with which her ilk have treated us, hearing her assurances that further rhetoric against the university would be heavily sanctioned was a pleasure, regardless of whether or not it holds once a divine is elected. I offer the Inquisition my thanks, and have sent army items our professors thought might be of interest. Orlesian Army Warrior Armor. Orlesian Army Warrior Armor. Okay, we'll have to take a look at that. And we got one more here. Investigate the strange chalk markings. Excerpts from Retter's reports. Do you know this sign? A triangle, point down, two wavy lines through it. A lookout spotted it in chalk on a ruined wall close to one of our outposts. A kerosene inquiry into the symbol has revealed nothing. Archivists are still looking. Argent thinks she saw the symbol or something very like it scrawled in a ledger that belonged to the Contessa de Barad. A sweep is done, as you ordered. Almost every outpost of ours has been marked in this manner. Many believe we are being watched. To what end, we do not know. What about a decoy outpost set up near a trade route and watched carefully? If someone decides to take out their piece of chalk, we'll have them. Colin's not involved, and I could follow up on Argent's lead. The Contessa is reclusive and has remained steadfastly neutral in all matters, but I'm certain I can find some way to gain her cooperation. I like Liliana's thought on this. Set up a decoy outpost. Post set up along the Imperial Highway ostensibly to guard trade routes and facilitate procuring supplies for the Inquisition. Eyes on all approaches. Fourth night, a caravan carrying refugees makes camp nearby for protection. After midnight, a young woman on crutches makes small talk with patrol guard. After he passes, she crouches and makes the mark on a tent post. The woman pretends for half an hour to know nothing. When it becomes clear the ruse will not work, she kisses an Andrastian locket and says, "Glory to those across the seas." She dies. The locket was poison. Wow. Okay. So, Madam Ambassador, I would be honored to accept your invitation. I shall make arrangements to pay the Inquisition a visit presently, as I have been most curious to see your organization for myself. So we got 30 influence. Okay, so that looks like that's it. Do we want to go to the Black Emporium? Well, I don't, not right now. I have got too much stuff I've got to do right now. I need to talk to everybody again. I need to, what is this behind us? The war room. In your heart shall burn. With the Inquisition hard-won allies, it is time to march on the breach and close it. That's in the war room. Meet in the war room when ready. In your heart shall burn. Okay, so... So we just have to activate it, I assume, right? No. That's not what I wanted. I wanted the other one. There we go.
Chancellor Roderick came to speak with me. Could you try not to antagonize him?
If I offend the man so easily, perhaps he should try leaving me alone.
Okay, so in your heart will burn. I don't see anything in here. In your heart will burn. Maybe it's on the other side? Oh no. Oh, here it is. In your heart will burn. Okay, so cost 1. Join forces with your new allies to assault the heart of the breach and close it once and for all. Recommended levels 8 to 11. Okay, but isn't this the end of the game then? No, it wouldn't be. Do we want to do this? Let us do this later. But we know it's here now. Okay. Because I'm a level 10, I believe. Oh, she's out here. Josephina's out here. But let me get in here because I have stuff to give her over here.
We can use that. If you find anything, please bring it in.
That's all we had? I thought I had more stuff than that. Now I'm level 11. Okay. So let's talk to Josephine.
I'll take my leave. Good day.
Who is she, Ambassador?
A merchant. I thought we should reach out to the dwarves to secure lyrium for the Inquisition's mages. According to Lady Corpin, it raised the ire of the Chantry.
How?
Access to lyrium makes us rather more formidable than I anticipated. We're becoming a challenge. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of comforting the masses.
It's been that way for years. Sadly, the remaining Grand Clerics appear to be consolidating the Chantry's power instead of... the Chantry's incompetent.
The Chantry couldn't solve its own problems when it had a divine.
Yet many people continue to bear it great love. We will not benefit from its decline. Little but the Chantry ties Orlais, Nevara, Ferelden, Antiva, and even Rivain to a common cause.
Has the Chantry truly promoted such peace?
Andrastes' chant is familiar across kingdoms, a source of many shared customs. That is the crucial point. Common ground is the start of all negotiations.
And the start of many fights.
Are you sure? Families often fight the hardest.
Having grown up among four siblings, I concede your point. I found, however, that the only time two parties cannot negotiate is when they cease to speak. We must learn to think beyond our own wants to secure peace in Thedas.
Planning to steer the history of the world, Ambassador Montillier.
I believe the Inquisition is already charting that course. Which brings me to a question, if you have a moment. The remaining Grand Clerics sent a missive inquiring about the events at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. They demand to know whether the Inquisition officially claims that Andraste saved you from the breach. If it were up to you, how would you reply?
I don't claim to be holy.
I'd tell the Chantry I was saved by circumstance, not divine intervention.
Yet as rumors your Andraste's herald grow, the Grand Clerics may not believe such a humble reply. A difficult situation, and I thank you for your answer. A good day to you.
Okay. So we have more to talk about.
What may I do for you?
Anything to report?
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among the nobility. They will be gently reminded of this.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Lady Drummond promised a visit. She has useful resources if we can get her to set aside her games.
What are her politics?
Oh, no, I meant actual games. Chess, cards, dice, little boards with carved idols from the winter. She made me play that with her for 8 hours once. Steer her towards cards if she insists on a match.
Okay.
What may I do for you?
I think we've gone to
What
these.
exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
Then you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles?
I do. Someone must foster goodwill on our behalf, as well as prevent controversy as news of us spreads.
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake, every noble house, every throne is waiting to see what the Inquisition does next. Many are willing to pledge support if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
Tell me how you came to work for the Inquisition again.
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's such unrest in Thedas, and the Inquisition seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading further.
I agree with that.
So was it the prospect of stability that drew you here?
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt, and that was before the death of the Divine. The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to full-scale war.
Yeah, I do agree.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
Yep, it does.
What do the people make of us?
We've gathered many favors among
Okay, we already did all that.
They will be gently reminded of this.
How about our allies?
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
What about our mages? Solus.
What's your impression of Solus?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
What about Dorian?
You must have an opinion of Dorian.
Who hasn't? The man could cause a scene standing quietly in the center of an empty room.
Yeah, he can.
Still, I do believe he has your best interest at heart, for all that he delights in mocking them from time to time.
How about our roguish friends? Yeah, what about, Sarah?
I'd love to know how you and Sarah get along.
I know she extracts gossip from the servants, and she keeps prying into things. Sarah's ability to vanish whenever her mischief's discovered must come in handy, however, I'm sure.
So what do you think about Iron Bow?
The Iron Bull has had to have made an impression.
He is a loud, unapologetic accident merely waiting to happen. I do wish he'd stop daring poor dignitaries to outdrink him.
What about Blackwall?
What do you think of Sir Blackwall?
Sir Blackwall seems as loyal to the purpose of the Inquisition as he is to the Wardens. His travels must have taken him strange places. I wish he'd speak more about them.
Okay.
Let's speak later.
Another time.
Alright, I think that's enough for her. Let's see if Mother Giselle has anything more to say. I don't think she probably will, but you never know.
I understand you were instrumental in garnering the assistance of the rebel mages. It is well done. And I pray this Inquisition fares better than the Chantry in its handling of magic.
We'll do our best.
We will try.
In some ways, Andraste had the simpler task. Magic should serve man, and not rule over him. That tells us what should be, but it does not tell us how to get there. So many times the methods of men have undone the spirit of their goals.
Yep.
Once you have sealed the breach, we shall see whether this Inquisition is truer to the Chantry, or its own namesake.
Can you tell me how our people are doing?
What would you like to know?
Probably the same.
How are the villagers in Haven doing?
You did well to gain the mages to your cause. The people have hope that the breach may be sealed. Some of them are returning to the lives they fled. Others are starting fresh. In either case, they no longer believe the world as they know it is ending.
Good. Good.
Do you have information on people elsewhere?
The refugees in the hinterlands are desperate. Without help, starvation or war will claim many lives. Villagers in Crestwood are besieged by their own dead. They have sent word asking for assistance.
Okay.
People are vanishing in the hills of Emprise de Lyon.
We already know all that.
Or something worse, but they are terrified.
Alright, let's talk to Vivian here. She didn't go with us, but I'm sure she knows what happened, and she's gonna be happy with us because we made an alliance.
If Fiona and her malcontents are joining us as allies, we need to be prepared. Abominations are inevitable. Cullen doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidents. Some of the rank and file need to be trained.
Mine doesn't have enough Templars to handle incidences.
We can handle the mages. There's no need for Templars.
Have any of these men faced an abomination before, my dear? Have you?
Yeah.
The veil is broken, and the raw power of the Fade rushes out like floodwaters through a shattered levee. In ordinary places where the veil is weak, magic is much more likely to attract demons. And if demons can walk our world with no blood magic to summon them, how safe do you think our allies are? There has never been a greater threat to mages than the breach. Until it is closed, no one is safe.
You have a low opinion of your fellow mages.
It's not so much an opinion as grasping the obvious. Magic is dangerous, just as fire is dangerous. Anyone who forgets this truth gets burned.
Yeah, it is.
You're just spouting chantry propaganda, Vivian.
My dear, what a world you must live in. Do you know how young mages are found? A little girl has a nightmare, and in her sleep, she burns her house down. A teenage boy has a fit, and lightning rips his mother to pieces. Imagine your own childhood and what would have happened if the darkest corner of your heart had a will of its own. People don't learn the fear of magic at chantry services, my dear. They learn it from us. Tell me something. As you will no doubt have a hand in shaping it, what future do you see for mages?
Mages should be free. We need the circle back. We need mages in the chantry. Yeah, I agree.
Mages shouldn't be kept out of the chantry. Who knows the dangers of magic better than a mage?
A curious idea. Such twists and turns your mind takes. It's something to consider, my dear.
Okay, so she liked that.
Yes?
No, I think we're done here. Okay. So she greatly disapproved, and then she greatly approved when I said, and I do think that the mages should be part of the chantry. Why not? Instead of keeping prisoner, work with them.
Go in peace, Herald of Andraste.
Do I have...
How about nails? Can Harry at least get me a few score nails by tomorrow?
Master Harry said I'm good at nails. He said I have a mind like a hammer.
I do. No, I don't. I need... Okay. I thought I had...
If you find anything we need, let me know.
Okay. Oh, here's Liliana. Let's talk to her.
Your open support for the mages likely earned you enemies.
Yep.
Our agents will monitor the situation. If the most opposed can be identified, we may still turn this to our advantage.
People can hate me if they wish.
That gets us nowhere. The Inquisition is young. We need to build our support. Regardless, I applaud you for the courage to stand up for the mages.
In Redcliffe, you sacrificed yourself so that I could return here.
Of course I did. One small life in exchange for a second chance at history. I always loved a bargain.
What do you want, Cleo?
It was still a sacrifice, and still noble.
And I would do it again.
Any updates?
Anything I should know?
Altegan has returned to Redcliffe Castle and resumed his duties as Lord. The people are returning, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our show of support for the mages has angered many.
Yeah.
Anything I should know?
I've nothing to report at the moment.
Okay.
I'll leave you to your work.
Alright, yeah. We're gonna have people mad at us. Too bad, so sad. Who's humming? Oh, that's right. Solus is up here. He's gonna hate me. He did not like what I did.
So we have gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel. Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
Dorian is certain. But it would be the point.
You think Alexius made an illusion of his own life going down in flames?
Point taken. What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witness.
It is. Did I see him there? I didn't see him there.
I'm surprised you're not more interested in your own future.
I know enough. If that future happened, then I, and Cassandra, Cullen and the rest, failed to stop this Elder One. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For?
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
Yeah, you're right about that.
What can I do for you?
Nope, that was it. Okay.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
He didn't approve of me before, now he does. Okay, where was Sarah? Who's this over here? Oh, Dorian.
The Inquisition supports free mages. What's next? Elves running Halamsharal? Cows milking farmers?
You disagree?
I take it you don't agree.
On the contrary, I approve. Heartily. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
Oh, I do want to flirt with him. Yep.
If that means they're anything like you, I agree.
Ha! There aren't many mages back home like me.
No, didn't think
believe
so.
that.
I never fit in. Bloodstains are so difficult to clean, you see.
So we're doomed to a future of blood magic then?
Not at first. But you'd be a fool not to see where this could lead. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the Sun. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches.
Yeah.
Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
I agree.
It occurs to me that I barely know anything about you.
Beyond my being a mage from Tevinter, you mean?
Beyond that, yes.
And beyond my being so charming and well-dressed, which is obvious to anyone.
It's obvious to me, yep.
I'm well aware of your finer qualities. Believe me.
Of course you are. You're a discerning and intelligent woman, after all. Now, what was I talking about? Ah, yes, me.
Of course.
I am the scion of House Parvis, a product of generations of careful breeding and the repository of its hopes and dreams. Naturally, I despised it all. The lies, the scheming, the illusions of supremacy. That's Tevinter in a nutshell, isn't it? Needless to say, my family was not happy with my choices.
What did you mean by generations of careful breeding?
The great families of Tevinter don't have children. They refine traits, weed out the undesirable, and promote the rest. My mother was chosen for my father because magic runs strongly in her blood. Never mind that they loathed each other. They wanted a son who could become Archon to make House Parvis the envy of the Imperium. They got me. A cautionary tale that you should be careful what you wish for.
You don't like Tevinter?
I'm getting the impression that you don't care much for your homeland.
On the contrary, I care for my homeland a great deal. There's so much potential. Sadly, we squander it. We refuse to acknowledge how far we've fallen because pretending is easier.
That's true.
We pretend the Qunari can be beaten. We pretend that we're superior to everyone, even our own people. Not everyone feels that way. I don't. Sadly, we're the minority.
It just seems... So much of what you say about the Imperium is entirely negative.
It might sound that way. For all our faults, my people have many virtues. We are laden with history and culture. Tevinter is where Thedas truly began, remember? We treasure our past and preserve it. You can walk down a side street and find nothing built during the modern ages. And despite appearances, we care deeply about everything. We have no reserve, not in war and not in love. If I truly believed my homeland was beyond all hope, I wouldn't miss it so much.
Why remain with the Inquisition? Why not go back to Tevinter?
I'm not exactly welcome back home. Not that it matters, I'm quite accustomed to being a pariah. It adds to my charm. I can do more for Tevinter here. If the Venatori succeed, it'll set my homeland back 1,000 years. I'm sure some magisters would disagree, but that's why we kill them.
Why would your family be upset with your choices?
Because I rejected their idyllic plan. If they had their way, by now I'd be married to some unlucky girl from a powerful family. We'd live in luxurious despair, despising each other as I waited to take my father's place in the magisterium. I declined the honor, and thus it's best I'm far from home. Less of an embarrassment that way, you see?
Okay.
I think I've heard enough.
That's too bad. I never tire of talking about myself.
No, I'm sure you don't.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Ah, yes, everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it. Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minlathus. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Do mages truly rule there? Is blood magic common?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
Oh, really? Huh.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more.
That's the
That's
problem.
where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
I was thinking about, look at how he's dressed. He's got to be cold with his bare shoulders. Oh my god.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
No one disagrees?
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise, and then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along.
Oh.
Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Okay.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah, that is true.
And Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south. Back home, it's how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family.
That's
Some
true.
slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
I kind of agree with what you're saying. If it's up to them, if it was their choice.
I suppose not. No.
I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
That's true there too.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
I find it strange that your mages don't rule anything at all.
I know.
Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
What is the Magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of Magi, the Chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use Magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
If you're not a Magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an Altus, which is almost as good as a Magister, depending on who you ask.
An Altus?
I've never heard of an Altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not Altus, then you're later, lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're Soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
So you have a caste system. So you not only do you have slaves, you also have a caste system. I was going to say, I like the hilt over here on this one dagger of mine. That's pretty cool.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal.
Yeah.
If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Okay.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people are aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce their magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Okay.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah, blah, blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the South. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
You don't seem like the religious sort, to be honest.
If you define religious as sitting in a chantry and listening to a blithering hen tell you how to live, then no. If you define it as believing in the possibility that something larger than yourself exists, then yes, by all means. The world is bigger than I, even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know.
Yep.
The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Yeah, I don't believe that, though. No.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many magisters will rejoice in the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen.
Yeah.
I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
Have you gone to see Alexius yet? He's in the cells.
Is he?
No. I saw him before they locked him up. He looked despondent, broken. Not the man I remember, nor the one I want to. I suppose the Inquisition will judge him eventually. I wonder if there's any chance they'll show him mercy. He hardly deserves it, but for Felix's sake. I can't help hoping there's something left of the man I once knew.
Oh, so I know where the prison is at. I wonder if he's down there.
Did you know we're actually related, Inquisitor?
Related?
Oh, not first cousins or anything like that. Can you imagine? You're a Trevelyan, however, and somewhere in the dank nethers of my family tree, there was also a Trevelyan. Perhaps he was even the one who ventured to Ostwick to establish the branch. We are talking long ago, of course.
Can we still flirt?
I'd rather we weren't related. That might make flirting awkward.
Depends on which branch of the family you come from. Regardless, I think we're still good to go. By at least 3 ages.
Okay.
I should go.
I do rather like watching you leave.
Okay, let's see here. So he's over here in this hut. Sarah is down here in
The
the...
Chantry isn't supporting us.
I told you that it was complicated. Without the divine,
You people, with your fancy robes and your fancy words, you think you sing a better chant than the rest of us, but you really only hear yourselves nattering on. We don't need a divine. We have the Herald, and whatever she says is good enough for me.
Wow, no, don't put me in that position. All right, Sarah.
How much did you need?
Well, that's mages all over. So many robes, I bet all of Ferelden lost their curtains. I'll just be the other side of Haven, just in case.
You don't like the mages?
Do you have a problem with our new allies? With mages?
No problem with mages. I mean, you know some that are all right. My problem is magic. If mages sat on their hands, everything would be fine. I mean, yay, freedom. Great for them. Over there, away from me.
Is the Inquisition what you thought it would be?
Well, you're dragging people together, suppose that's something. You're gonna need more trebuchets if you're going after the sky. Or, you know, ladders.
I'll be back if I need you.
Go on.
Yeah, I'm just not sure about her.
A gracious lady bit.
No, alright, that's it. Come on. Alright. What about you, Barrick? This thing with the red lyrium has got to get you all wound up here. Got you all upset, huh? I'm sure it will.
The Mage Rebellion joins the Inquisition. I've got to admit that's a twist I didn't see coming. One thing you saw in the future worries me. I mean, it was all bad. But red lyrium and Ferelden, infecting people and growing out of them, that's bad. Finding more of it really punches a hole in my red lyrium at the temple was a coincidence theory.
Yeah, it does.
How long does it take for red lyrium to grow? How fast can it spread?
It took years to infect people in Kirkwall, but no one there was actually ingesting the stuff. This Elder One managed to take the worst thing I can think of and make it worse. That's an accomplishment.
We can't leave a single piece of that lyrium out in the wild.
I'm with you on that. I've got people trying to find out where the red stuff came from. I think maybe we should make that a priority.
I agree.
But that's enough doom and gloom. You just won a big victory for the Inquisition. What are you going to do to celebrate?
Have a party.
That's a good point. We should celebrate. A banquet. Something like a banquet.
Word to Josephine, and I bet she could arrange anything. Things should be calm around here for at least the next hour. Take a moment to enjoy it. If the world's about to end, I'm sure the Seeker will let us know.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. Okay, anything else you need to say?
Need something?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
No, that's all. All right.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem.
Okay. And then down here to sell stuff. I got stuff to sell.
Anything you can spare will help the wounded.
All right. Sell. Yeah, I had a lot to sell. I'm trying to get to 10,000 gold so I can go buy that mysterious box. Oops, this isn't where I needed to go. I need to go down here. I'm gonna learn yet. Okay, let's go talk to Blockwell and then work our way over. Oh, look at that wind blowing all that snow! See how he feels about his experience there.
There was never going to be an easy answer to the mage dilemma. What you did for the mages took courage. You gave them a chance. Everyone deserves one. I have to ask, what was I like in that dark future you saw?
You were angry? You were heroic? You were heroic, yep.
You fought with honor and died a hero. You did the Wardens proud.
Then I was worth something in the end. Thank you.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
You already know what I think of your forces. I'm not sure what else there is to say.
Yeah, we're done. Oh, it won't let me just leave. Okay. Here we go.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
I haven't had a chance to flirt with him lately. That kind of makes me mad.
Researcher Minave has notes on alloys that may prove more effective against demons.
So...
We'll take anything that gives our blades a bit more bite.
Can you improve my equipment? No, we already know all that.
Goodbye.
Right.
So we've got something for Bianca. Modify weapons. We got Bianca. How come we can't do anything with Bianca?
You need something? Let me know.
Unequipped. You have to unequip stuff to work on it, which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Dorian, Bianca. So we've got arms, or ruin, or grip. I know we had something. Okay, select. Empty. Bianca arms 2. Okay.
serve you well.
I'm... Come on. Here we go. Bianca. Here we go. And over here, talk to... Oh, I just heard something. Let's go talk to Iron Ball.
So, that Tevinter guy sent you into the future?
Tevinter magic goes too far. Weird, right? Yeah.
Every time I think I understand magic, the rules change.
I know, right? If I were a mage, I'd just throw fire at people. That's honest. Anyway, I hope our new friends have what it takes to close the breach. Damn thing gives me a headache just looking at it.
Okay, anything else?
Can I help you?
Nope, goodbye.
See you later, Bull.
See ya.
Alright, so then we need to talk to Cassandra.
And what are we supposed to do, exactly?
What you always do. Complain.
What?
We've already spoken with Commander Cullen. No one listens. We want better quarters. We want the Templars kept at a distance. And some respect for...
This is not the circle. You mages are our allies, not our wards. Act like it.
Yeah?
How are we supposed to...
Deal with it. It never ends, evidently.
Is there an issue with the mages? Can I help?
The mages are here as equals. They need to get used to what that means. It is your doing, after all. You created this alliance.
I had to think on my feet, and I did what I could.
Oh, I do sound like I'm blaming you, don't I? I don't disapprove. In fact, you did well. You made a decision when it needed to be made. And here we are. I wish I could say this was my doing.
We wouldn't be here at all if you hadn't stood up against the Chantry.
You're being kind.
You're discounting your role in this.
Let's close the breach. Then we can say how successful I was.
So she approves and doesn't approve type thing. And where'd you disappear to? You just disappeared. Sorry guys, oh, here she is.
Greetings.
Anything else? The Seekers, is that, no, looks like it's all the same.
That's enough for now.
Alright,
Another time then.
Let's go talk to Colin.
The mages are ready to approach the breach. I pray this will be enough to close it.
Would you be more confident if I'd brought back Templars instead?
I'd be less worried about the thin veil resulting in mass possession. I will not endanger the alliance you've created. We need their help. Any precautions taken will be to ensure the safety of our people and the mages themselves. Nothing more.
Is there anything I should know?
Not at present.
Okay.
That's all for now.
Should you require anything, I'll be here.
So I get to flirt with them at the very beginning, and then after that, I don't get to flirt with anybody. That's just odd. Okay, so we got everyone here. We had all these heads on here. Dorian, Solus, Sarah, Eric. Okay. What time is it? We did a lot of talking. Yep, so it's over an hour again already. So I'm going to go ahead and close down this episode. Yeah, there was a lot of talking in this one. I don't know, maybe I will go after the breach. I feel like that needs to probably happen, and I'm level 11, and which reminds me, I need to level myself up, plus probably my crew. So if you're enjoying, click like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Sahara out.